Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar of Smart TS XL meets AI GPT. Ask, Analyze, and Act. During this webinar, we're going to see what can we do together with the power of Smart TS XL suite of tools and AI GPT. A short disclosure, clients, some of them do not allow AI. They strictly prohibit the use of AI. And so Smart TS XL by default does not establish any connection to any AI platforms. For this to happen, very specific actions must occur from the client's admin team to make this connection. We also made it very easy for those clients who do want to permit the AI utilization. We offer a very easy way to integrate, but it still has to be done, and it's a very specific task. So that disclosure out of the way, let's continue. I guess the first thing we should do is discuss what is Smart TS XL. Some of you here on the webinar maybe have never seen the product. It is a fully web-based product that is currently working in many Fortune 500 clients, supporting the largest IT installations. Smart TS XL supports every single platform, language, system known to mankind today, and that's what's nice about it. If you look at the inventory, you can see that currently in our little demo system, there are many data types from AS400, the I-Series, SAP, SAP code, RPG code, distributed code, databases, mainframe, anything on the mainframe, any kind of languages, open source. We have Unix, SQL Server, web services, and so forth. So it supports really anything the human eye can see. Our little demo here has 455,000 members, totaling 53 million lines. Not a giant one, but not a small IT shop by all means. So to see it in action, if one, for example, you were looking for a message that somebody saw, what was, let's say, invalid user, we could search the entire kit and caboodle, everything, the whole 200 and odd data types, silos of information, and get back the results very quickly. And you see the results came from multiple data types, mainframe, AS400, Unix, Python, and so forth. And then, of course, you can see every single line from every single program, from every single platform and language. So that's, in a heartbeat, in a nutshell, what is Smart TS XL. Now let's see a little bit about how ChatGPT ties in and how we can make it even stronger. So I'm going to do a search on a program name. This program is heavily used. I'm going to search on that name for the entire load of all the 55 million lines of code. And you can see, in fact, that we have 69 different members referencing that program 372 times. Now we're going to go into one of these programs, TTC095, and let's discuss the different ways how you invoke ChatGPT. So there's two main ways to invoke ChatGPT. The one is simply to select lines of code. And anytime you select lines of code of any language, of any type, you get a pop-up. What do you want to do with these lines of code? You can document business rules, you can annotate, and you can ask ChatGPT. So that's one way you can invoke ChatGPT, by simply selecting lines of code. The other way would be to click on the icon, which takes the entire program, puts it in the window, and now we can use the GPT to ask questions about this program. Those are the two ways to invoke. Now let's talk about the three different ways you can talk and ask ChatGPT questions. Well, the first one, ask anything. So you can just type whatever you want. You can say, document this program. You can say, convert this program, and it will do it. That's one way. Another way you can talk to ChatGPT or give it commands is by using the suggestions. Suggestions are actual commands that behind them there's a lot of code and text sent to GPT that we've already pre-programmed and pre-built for you. And in these suggestions, there are two types. One is static, meaning you click on it and it just happens on the spot. While the other is interactive, where when you click on it, like for example, if you want to convert this to another language, it'll ask you, well, which language do you want to convert it to? So those are the three different ways you can actually ask questions. Ask anything by typing free text, click on any of the suggestions that are static, or click on any of the suggestions that are interactive, dynamic. How do we get these suggestions, you ask? Well, sometimes we just come up with it since we all developers here, some of us are mainframe gurus, some of us are open distributed gurus, so we know what is needed, and many other times we get it from the clients. Clients using the GPT will click on ask a new suggestion. They will then type here what they want. It comes to Incom, and then we can add this to the list within 10 minutes. We have a special server, we update, and then from that moment, anyone in the world using SmartTS clicking on GPT will have a new suggestion. We will now perform the different types of tasks you can do with the GPT. We'll start off with the free text and selected lines of code. So for example, I'm going to select, let's go to some logic here, down at the bottom, and let's take, for example, this little piece of code. And I ask GPT, and I'm going to the free text and just typing whatever I want. Explain in detail what these lines of code do so anyone can understand. Click. And now it's going to explain to me in layman terms exactly what every single line is doing. And at the end, it's going to give me a small summary. And of course, you can take whatever came from GPT and save it for later use. Anything saved goes into your action center up here. And in the actions, at the end of the day, you can pick it all up and then download them, print them, save them, view them, whatever you want. This was a free text on selected lines of code. Now, we are going to go and bring up another program, select the entire program, and we're going to ask the system, the ChatGPT, to create a COBOL flower box comment documenting the purpose of this program. To do that, we had to give it the entire program so it knows what the program does. And now it's giving us a flower box of the entire program that we can later use, copy, paste, and put inside as documentation. While these don't look that they're lined up, if you copy and paste this, it will line up because it's a fixed font, and what the font it uses here is not fixed. All right, now we're going to go and select some lines of code. Let's select this O1 level here. And we're going to use a static suggestion. The suggestion we're going to use is to convert the field data area to a SQL Server view. And you can see that it takes the COBOL define and creates from it the SQL statement to create the table that matches that view. That was a static suggestion. Click and it did its stuff, whatever we asked it to do. Now we're going to select the entire program and we're going to ask the tool to summarize this code in pseudocode format. So this suggestion, which is also static, but we're going to ask it to be done on the entire program. And it's going to basically write down in plain English what this program does, so anybody can understand. And there you have it. Let's see now an interactive suggestion, one that asks questions before it performs a task. For example, if we were to take this lines of code here, call GPT, one of the interactive that requires you to enter input would be to translate this to a different language. So we're saying convert code to another language. It's going to prompt us, what language do you want to convert to? I'm going to type natural, which is another 4GL language. So now it's going to take the code up here. It's going to take our input down here and convert this what it would look like in natural. You'd have to have a define data local, and there's your code using natural 4GL language. This is kind of neat, no? And the next thing we're going to do is bring up a suggestion that's interactive for an entire program. So let's see an example. Let's find a field here like WS, let's see, WS copy, all right? WS copy is length 1, right? So I'm going to copy this, and now I'm going to ask ChatGPT for the entire program, and the task I'm going to ask to do is to convert, 1 second, I'm going to say how many hours will it take to change a field from length X to length Y. So here we need 3 things: the field name, which I copied, which is WS copy, the current length, which we know is 1, and the new length, which let's say is 5. So now we're sending the GPT in this pre-programmed suggestion that's interactive, meaning it takes in these 3 fields, and now we're going to get a detailed level of effort of how many hours will it take to understand everything and to do this. So it says we need to understand the code, we need to make the code change, then we need to do testing, we need to do QA testing, deployment, and all in all, we're talking about 8 hours. So, no, sorry, 8 hours is only for one of the steps. All in all, we're talking about 30 hours. 8 for understanding, 4 for code changes, 6 for testing, 8 for QA, and 4 for deployment. So here we have, again, a very detailed outline of level of effort, how to do this change, and we can save this for later use in HTML format. Let's say it's got the Ask AI conversation. We'll take a folder called AI demo and export it, and later we can come back to it. It'll do it asynchronously. Let's see what came here. We have the AI demo, and here we have our level of effort. Well, that's the one we did before. That's a line-by-line explanation. So this is the level of effort. There's the program followed by the level of effort. So it's very nice. You can run these reports asynchronously. At the end of the day, you can collect all your reports, print them, and you've completed your task quicker. Now we're going to do something quite interesting. We're going to attempt to do business rule extraction on an entire program. So we are going to take this program that we have here, and we are going to go to the ChatGPT, and we're going to look for the extract COBOL business rule names. There's a lot of logic that we program behind this very specific command suggestion, but when you click on it, you're going to get a table of the rule name, a description of the rule, the business explanation, and the line numbers. For example, this is duplicate record detection, compares the current record from the file with the last record from the merge file to avoid processing duplicates, and the explanation, preventing duplicate ensures data integrity, and so forth. And again, this is great because you can slowly build yourself an entire business rule dictionary by saving these tables and then putting them together later. I'm going to end with two what I think are very powerful examples. The one of them is allowing you to select either a O1 level from a COBOL program or an entire copybook. So you could do it either way. In this example, I'm going to go to this program and I'm going to select an O1 level. Let's find here this DXREC. Okay. I'm going to select this entire DXREC. And what we're going to do, it's a mouthful and it takes a long time, but it's going to ask the system to take that record layout, build it a MongoDB data layout, and then create a COBOL program and a C# program that can use this new record layout we got from this program as a way to interface the mainframe to the C#. So when we do that, it's first going to build a MongoDB schema for that layout. It's then going to create a COBOL module for us that can read that MongoDB schema. And it's then going to create the C#.NET program that can also interact with that MongoDB, allowing the COBOL and the C# program to talk to each other using this MongoDB layout, which we got from either a copybook or an O1 level from a different program. So this is quite fascinating that it happened very quickly. That's one thing I wanted to show you. And just so you get an idea what goes on behind the scenes to make this happen, I want to show you that what goes on when you click on the GPT on this specific, when you click on this specific suggestion, behind the scenes, let me show you what goes on here. So this is a copy of the text behind that scene where Income programmed this for you so you don't have to. And when you click, it actually calls GPT with this specific command, meaning you're given either a COBOL O1 level or entire copybook. And then it says parse and convert the COBOL fields into a valid MongoDB document schema. And then it tells it exactly what to do, write a compilable COBOL module, compilable C# module, and so forth. So all that happens behind the scene. We do it so you don't have to worry about it. We work hard so you don't have to. All right. And the one last thing I wanted to show you was another way that, and this is more for people who know a little bit about SmartTS, because SmartTS is very powerful and it has a very rich syntax query. If you go to the assistant here, you see this is all the different things we support: proximity, range, block, search, date, search within, synonyms. This demo isn't about SmartTS. But another thing we could do is we could actually build a very smart query within SmartTS XL using all the query assistant syntax and rules, because all this was added into the ChatGPT. And that allows you to go into here and select lines of code, ask GPT, and ask for where do we have duplicate code. So we can come here and find duplicate selected code. And what that does, give it a number of how many words, up to how many words we have. And my keyboard stopped working, which is great. Come on. There we go. And what this is going to do, it's going to actually build for us a Boolean SmartTS query, which we can then click on this little button here to directly put into the search criteria, which will then allow us to click here and find all the duplicate locations of that specific lines of code we have in the system. And let's do the all hits, and we have them, the exact same lines of code, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I don't want to take a lot of your time. I'll leave the webinar now for questions, but I just wanted to demonstrate to you the ability of what can be accomplished when you have a smart TS tool, which is already super helpful, super fast, very powerful tool, but you add to it now the ability to integrate GPT or any other AI into it, it becomes a superpower. I'm going to stop here and we'll do questions.